Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Who Let Me Do This, me, and also you. So let's talk about it. Oh my goodness gracious. So I feel like my last episode, I was really ranting about a lot of things, but honestly, you know what? This is my podcast. So there it is. After I was like, wow, maybe I am like getting really old and like ranting about what all these young hooligans are doing. Get off my lawn vibes because like, what is going on? No, but seriously, what is going on with these generations coming up? It's a little horrifying, honestly. Actually, it's not a little, it's a lot horrifying. Let's talk about why the fold over shorts should never have came back. First of all, let's just talk about that for a second because I'm wearing them. I got a couple pairs of them when it came back out with them like months ago, and I remember why I hated them so much. I mean, I hated them, but I love them. It's a complicated thing. The folded up part, especially if you're a big girl like me, hi. If you are chubby, hi. They roll up and roll up and roll up and roll up and roll up. Same as if you were wearing high waisted leggings or high waisted shorts or something now that do not have the fold over capability. They roll down, they roll down, they roll up, they roll down, they roll up. Like you just can't win. Maybe that's part of the reason why I'm on skinny talk. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to be skinny. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Don't give a I'm trying to be skinny. We already talked about that. So, something else that I've noticed has become a big problem for me lately has been scrolling. I'm sorry, my nose is so itchy lately. I don't know why. Scrolling has been like the death of me. I don't know what it is. I think it really just took off even more. I mean, it was when I was working and I would just come home, sit in silence on the couch or my bed and scroll for hours and hours and neglect all of my responsibilities, such as making dinner, making my lunch for the next day, caring about making dinner for my husband or for myself, and always getting fast food out. You get it. I think that was a big contributor to the way that things were before I had Brian, but now obviously that has changed. Also, laziness too. I was very lazy and selfish before I had my son. We already talked about that. Scrolling lately has been a big problem for me, and it really took off even more, I feel like, after I had Brian, because obviously postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, before I was on medication, I felt like literally Miley, pretend it's not the end of the world. Like it was the end of the world for me. New moms, if you know, you know. I felt like I ruined my life. I felt like I got really dark, honestly. I wanted to Brian up for adoption. I wanted to just run away and never come back. But apparently all those things I was feeling was normal. Everything that I was feeling was normal, and we have since fixed that and we're good now, and he is almost 10 months happy and thriving. But anyways, back to the scrolling. It is just every time he takes a nap, anytime I have like a little downtime to myself, what is the first thing I'm doing? I am scrolling. I'm scrolling, and it is so bad. It is a habit that I'm also trying to break because I feel like that has also caused a lot of issues for myself and my mental health even before I had kids. Like I have multiple. Jesus Lord. Let me calm down for a second. Before I had my son, scrolling and social media has always been a big problem. And I think just now I'm realizing that, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing that because it's going to wreck your brain. So I will give you guys a brief example of that. Maybe why you should also stop scrolling too, because it's rotting your brain. It's literally rotting my brain. However, nighttime, I give myself an exception, but we'll get there. Back years and years ago in high school, I never had Facebook or anything until I was in 10th grade and I was with my ex and I had friends and, like, yay, like, but it kind of became my life. I figured I should have seen the first red flag back when I was 15 years old, the night before I was going to go meet my now ex at the time, or what I thought was going to meet him at the mall with one of my friends. And I couldn't stop dreaming about like Facebook and all the things that were on there, like gifting and doing the little game things and putting the bumper stickers on your profile back when it was like that. And I should have known from the start that was the first red flag. Leading to my social media addiction. And then obviously coming home from high school every day, the first thing, what am I doing? I was going on AIM, RIP, Facebook, Twitter when it became a thing, Tumblr especially, and then Instagram came around when I was a senior in high school. And it just, ever since then, I've just always been constantly on social media, which also feel like that's where a lot of my issues with my family, my friends, or people in general came from, because I was constantly on social media. So I was constantly seeing what you were doing, like a psycho. I know some people in my life that were like that. I don't know if they still are. It's definitely not healthy and wasn't healthy for me. So there was a period of time that I stopped going on Facebook, but I was still obviously active on Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, that was it. Instagram and YouTube. Those were like my two. I would just scroll on Instagram all day, on and off all day, or watch videos all day. So I guess it wasn't really that bad as I got older. But now that it's TikTok, man, it's another level. Like I'll scroll. Okay, I'm bored. Go on Instagram. Okay, let's check that quick. Scroll. Check stories. Okay, bye. Maybe once in a while go on Facebook, see if there's anything. Oh, scroll for like a second. Okay, bye. I'm done with that. Go back on TikTok. Scroll. I really am not kidding. I'm not kidding. Or like YouTube, is there any YouTube videos up? Is there anyone that I want to watch? Anything that I want to watch? Nope. Okay, back to TikTok. Scroll. So you get it. It's become a big thing for me. But I think it is also I don't want to say it's led to like the reason why I don't have a lot of friends and why I push people away and why I just like we talked about this in another episode where I basically was like making and losing friends is okay, which is true. Social media became very much a lifeline for me to my friends and stuff. For that, I'd like to say that I was happy before social media. I was like carefree. I would just call my friends or text them if they want to hang out. Like I wasn't really caring about posting pictures or anything like that. And then once I got on Facebook and all the socials, I started getting into this mindset where I see all my friends posting with their friends and it would make me really sad and it would make me very mad. And I'm going to fully admit this because everyone says this is such a toxic way to be, but this was genuinely how I was feeling at the time. And this kind of carried on until like up till a couple years ago. And basically, I kind of was like jealous that my friends had other friends and they weren't hanging out with me. My other problem also lied with the fact that I was afraid to bother people, so I didn't reach out. And so, like, how are they going to know if I don't say anything? You get it. It was just such a I guess, immature thing. I don't know. But I do kind of blame a lot of it on social media and my own, why aren't you hanging out with me? Why are you hanging out with them? It's kind of like the thing. It's like when your best friend says they have another best friend. Absolutely not. Still feel that way a little bit, but it is what it is now. Ask me that a few years ago, I'd say, no way. No. I think that really started a lot of my issues with having friends because I always felt like the convenience friend, the friend that like, oh, no one wants to hang out. Oh, Sam doesn't really care, so we're just going to leave her on the back burner sort of thing. So, and I just kind of let it be that way, but also, mental health, my own too. So it's a whole bunch of in itself. I've never been one that's very good at keeping a lot of friends. I try, but I think that when you've been burned so many times by people, you're just like, you know what? I don't care. And then you just kind of leave it alone. And whatever it's going to be is going to be because I got tired of being made either the convenience or the villain, or maybe both at the same time. And I decided to walk away and be done. And that pisses a lot of people off, you wouldn't believe. I definitely think it made life a lot more difficult mentally for me too, because I was like, oh well, they're hanging out with their friends, why don't they want to hang out with me? Or we'd hang out and they wouldn't take pictures or anything like that, or like, but they'd hang out with their other friends and post pictures. It was just like a situation. And if I've learned anything is that A, it's not that deep, and B, we are not hanging out with people that make us feel like, especially now. I have to credit Leo Skeppy for a lot of the reasons and the ways that I am who I am now, honestly, listening to his podcast, but also just growth and realizing it's not worth it. None of how I'm feeling from people is worth simmering and crying over, cuz believe me, a lot of nights crying, a lot of thinking I'm not good enough, a lot of, oh, it's because I got married. Oh, it's because I'm fat. Oh, it's because I'm ugly. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of that. And I didn't have the strength anymore to deal with that. Becoming a mother, again, is a blessing in more ways than one, besides the obvious, but it really has made me grow up in a lot of ways that I could have never imagined. I used to really value posting on socials all the time and making sure I had like a slideshow of pictures all the time and posting like once a day or once every couple days. You guys used to see my feed, whatever. It just kind of doesn't matter anymore, to be honest. I have a ton of pictures of Brian on my phone. I have a ton of pictures of things that he's doing and my husband and, whatever, but I don't really take selfies of myself that much anymore, which is kind of crazy considering. Scorpio. Hello. It's really crazy how just your mind shifts. Maybe it is getting older thing too. I want to know if this is just a motherly thing or if it's a getting older thing. I feel like it's both. Now at 33, almost 33, let me not get ahead of myself. There's a few things that I definitely value a lot more than I did before, which is my privacy and my peace. Okay. I feel like I'm kind of getting back to where I was when I was younger, before I had social media, when I was in middle school, when I lived in Maine, not really having a full access to the world and to a whole bunch of people, and just enjoying, my time in my own little bubble with my family, trying to find new hobbies and new things to do besides posting videos and TikToks and stuff, obviously, but in the podcast, but just trying to go back to how simple life was back in the day. With, I would literally just, I don't even know, just like watch a show. Like, I haven't genuinely sat down and watched a show probably since I was postpartum, but also right now because I'm trying to rewatch X-Files, the entire series. But sometimes I do end up scrolling, so we're working on that. But just actually being in the moment and enjoying life where it is right now, and not being so worried about like, oh my god, I gotta get an Instagram picture, I gotta post this on my story, I gotta do no. Or just being so concerned when I hang out with someone, oh my gosh, I gotta get a picture of us so I can post it on my feed. Like, it doesn't have to be that way all the time. Like, it's nice and it'd be great, but it's not necessary. I think that's just where I literally let them and leave it. Wow, this podcast is getting a little deep here. I think also the let them theory that has been going viral for Mel Robbins lately. I had seen her stuff for quite a while, but I didn't really take it that seriously until it just was constantly coming on my feed, kind of like the Kylie Perkins of it all. It's like, you know what, that makes so much sense, because as someone that, has moved on from a lot of things, that doesn't mean that a lot of the shit still doesn't bother me. And a lot of these people that did shit to me, that doesn't mean that once in a while it still doesn't just creep up and I'm like, you know what, fuck them, fuck you, get the fuck out of my face. Kind manner, of course. But it's kind of, sometimes it's just a torture on yourself when that happens. It's stupid, especially stupid to worry about how others feel about you and how you try to control the narrative and that whole thing. I'm just picking the toe polish off my toe right now. No, you can't see it, weirdo. So I think let them has been just the most simple but the most effective thing for me, to just be like, let them. Okay. Like Cassie, after Nate yells at her, okay. Literally, just let them, because where are you going to go with that? How is that affecting you? How is that bringing any good energy or any goodness into your life, worrying about all these things that happened to you in the past, which seems to be quite a problem that runs in our family, of like people bringing up the past constantly, and it's okay. Let's move on now. But let them. So if you're someone like me that still struggles sometimes, still gets mad, still just like thinks about it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just wish I would have seen things sooner. I wish I would have done things sooner. But you know what? Just let them. And I think that also kind of goes in fault with being friends with people that, or being around people that like to talk, because social media makes that so much worse. And from my own history of talking about people, also not worth it. And it also will bite you in the ass. Let them. And karma. Let's add karma to that, because karma is a beautiful, beautiful soul, let me just say. I don't really know where I'm going with this episode. I'm just talking about a bunch of million things, but a million things, but feels nice. Feels nice to just talk, as always. So that is also why, again, I'll go back to it, I value my privacy and my peace more than anything. I don't care to involve myself in situations, people, places, things that make me feel uncomfortable, make me feel icky. That's the best way I could put it, icky. And I used to subject myself to a lot of things just to kind of make other people happy, but also I thought that that's what I wanted to do at the time, and it wasn't, because I faced the consequences of that later. No, that people bring up a lot on TikTok, and I think maybe even Leo has brought this up too, is that to when it comes to blocking and muting people, I think that's totally fair. Okay, people are like, oh my gosh, well, that's a reflection of them, and they have issues and they're taking it out on you. No, it's because I don't care to see all of that. Okay, I just don't care, especially if you're not giving the same support that I'm giving you, which that also I cannot stand for the life of me. And that's why I'm also trying to stop scrolling and to not be on social media that much. It's become such like a war zone of like, they're watching my stories but not liking any of my posts. Well, that maybe reflect more on them than it does you. So that situation, yes. As far as blocking and muting people, no. I'm a huge believer in keeping your peace and keeping your life private as much as possible. Even in this age where everything's online and everything is public, privacy is still peace, and privacy is power. Keep it the to yourself. And not for anything, I kind of notice the people that share more stuff, the more bad stuff happens to them, because from my own experience, but also in general, I've had people on my feed and stuff that were just like constantly sharing stuff every single day, especially in college or even after college, just sharing like constant statuses, constant photos, constant this, constant that. And I'm just like, okay. And then come out later and say, this bad thing happened to me, and this happened to me, and this, or they're like fighting with people on their Facebook status. And it's so embarrassing. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You couldn't just keep that off of online. Stop doing that. Do you want to be happy? Do you want some peace in yourself? Stop constantly posting, because it's going to bite you in the ass, whether it's directly, down the line through karma. Just stop. I think people just get too deep when it comes to like social media, and with all these different like friend things on TikTok of like, well, this is a reflection of you, and this is that, and this that. Like, there's so many different things. I feel like if you are feeling a vibe with like a friend, a family member, a relationship, something is off, something is weird, you don't like it, it's making you feel icky, it's time to leave it alone. It's time to walk away. It's time to ghost. I will be the first to admit that I've ghosted a few people because I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like how I was feeling. I just didn't like it. Or I would try to even maybe have a conversation about that sort of thing, and it would just blow up kind of in my face, or it just wouldn't go the way I thought it would, or it just wasn't acknowledged at all. And then I was like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to leave you behind. And I always used to laugh at this one girl I was friends with who literally said in a text to me like years ago, now it's like almost 10 years ago, and she was like, thank you for being a part of my journey, which was so corny and so weird. Now I kind of get it. Apparently, I was such a negative influence, which I mean, I guess I can be a negative influence. I don't know. I have my days though, as anyone else does. I feel like there's also this whole thing of like, you need to be the perfect friend, the perfect partner, the perfect, son, daughter, sister, brother. You get it. Like, you have to be so perfect according to, online and everything. And that's just not the case. I used to be a really good friend to people. I'll fully admit now that I'm kind of more of the, I won't talk to you for a month or two, but when we talk or hang out again, it's like right where we left off. Don't like to go out that much. I don't really like to speak to people that much, especially now being a mother. After being with my son, I need some time to myself. And I do take nap times and night times as very sacred times for me to recharge and breathe. But you get it. And it also kind of goes hand in hand with like, do I think that you're worthy enough of my time? And I know that sounds so conceited and so rude. Like, Sam, that's so rude. Yeah, but it's kind of true. I think you also have to think about like, is this person really worth your time? Are they going to lift you up the way that you lift them up? Like, are they going to put out that same vibe? Are they, going to drain you? Are they going to make you happy? Is it going to be a good time? Like, I think there's a lot more that goes into it. So excuse the fuck out of me, but I'm not going to be putting my time and energy personally into someone or something that I just don't feel right about, that I just don't think is worth my time. So if that makes me seem conceited and rude, then let it seem conceited and rude, because life is too precious to waste it, especially on people that might even have secret animosity towards you, the monitoring spirits, as everyone talks about, and just going with it. I don't really know where this episode went, but I hope you guys enjoyed it anyways. I didn't even get to really tell you guys how I planned on stopping my scrolling, but I am reading more. I'm trying to finish my what is it called? Oh, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That's what I'm currently reading right now. I do want to get back into reading over the summer. Usually it's what I like to do on the beach too, because I end up getting in a mindset while I'm tanning or laying out or whatever of like, oh, and I just start spiraling. So, especially when I'm listening to music. So, therefore, we're going back to reading. And I want to finish quite a few books that I just bought like within the last couple years. So, we're going to do that. Trying to turn off TikTok. I used to turn TikTok off. I would not go on it before I was going to bed at night. Now that kind of obviously has changed. But when I was working, I would just be like, nope, we're not scrolling. We're not scrolling to go to bed. I would watch a video and then I would go to bed. We're going to slowly implement these little things and hope it works. So I'll let you guys know how it all goes. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I didn't do my sign off last week. I don't know what I was thinking. I just was really not in a good mood, not in a good mindset, as whatever. But yeah, so stay safe. Don't be stupid. And I'll see you next week for another episode. Bye.